Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I am your host today. Happy Thursday. What's the date? October 10th. I feel like October is flying by. My name is Joanne. I'm the Director of Marketing and Live Training here with Legendary Marketer. And yes, we have another amazing guest. And man, do you not want to miss this one because we have a treat. He is a returning guest. He is a past mastermind speaker. He is a wealth of knowledge. He's absolutely killing it online. And I feel like I've watched his growth even in his content over the last, 9 months, is because it was good and it's getting better and he's absolutely rocking it. So I'm excited. I gave you my little teaser before I bring him out because we, of course, have a few housekeeping items. If you would like to get a notification of when we go live here with Wake Up Legendary, head over to legendarymarketer.com/WUL. It'll take you right to a broadcast room right here on Facebook. No other messages, no DMs, no spamming, nothing like that happens in there. You only receive 5 messages a week, one each morning, about a minute or two into our live. If it hasn't hit already, if you're subscribed, it will any minute. But head over there, legendarymarketer.com/WUL. And then if you are interested in any of the education and services that we provide here that we talk about, the experiences, mastermind, so to speak, our Learn, Launch, Lead 5-day challenge, grabbing the blueprints, you can head over to legendarymarketer.com/enroll and check out all of the details to all things legendary right there. All right. I see the comments rolling in. I see some of our regulars. And I got to tell you, I've been pretty excited. Last night I was like, oh, David Jones is on the show today. He is a content man. I love it. He's a genius. And without further ado, get your notebooks out, get ready to take however you take notes on your laptop, in your notes section on your phone, the good old fashioned notebook and pen, because he's about to drop some gold. Welcome, David, back to the show. Good morning.
How's it going? Morning.
Doing well. We had the pleasure of meeting in person at Mastermind, and I got to meet your lovely wife and all of that. So, well, welcome back. I was
Thank you.
excited to see you on.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be here. Although my son did wake up in the middle of the night last night, just absolutely sick. So he's here. So if he
Oh,
comes running out, and being like, "Dad, Dad, Dad," then don't mind him. I
you
put
just be
clothes on him.
dad. It's all
I put
good.
clothes on him before so that in case he came running out, it would be okay. So
Yes, definitely. And Glenn, our team so far, everyone in Florida is safe. No one has power, just to give you an update from what everyone we've been able to contact and be able to reach this morning. Um, so all of our well wishes with everyone in Florida for sure.
Mhm.
So David, as I
Either
let
one.
me correct myself. You are one faceless. I'm just gonna call it. We're gonna call you the faceless genius. How about that?
Faceless
You like
genius.
that?
I
How
like
about
that.
that?
I like being called a genius.
You're quite you have a lot of experience behind it. For those that are brand new, haven't seen you on the show, don't know your story, let's give them a little recap. How did you fall into the online space? Because it is an interesting journey, so to speak.
Right.
You didn't just land in this 6 months ago and like everything just aligned perfectly. You have quite a story of progression through the online space. So let's
Mhm.
let's let them know your backstory a bit.
Yeah, I grew up playing baseball, and that was my number one thing. That
Mhm.
was my number one thing. And sorry, my son is what's the
Oh,
matter?
it's all good.
Okay. Okay, go lay down, okay? Are you okay? What's the matter? Okay, can you go lay down? Can you lay down right here? Okay, but I need you to be quiet, okay? Okay. The bucket is in my room. Jet, you're okay. Go lay down. Okay, go lay down.
Oh.
I know, buddy. Okay, if you're gonna do that, go to the bathroom. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, poor guy. That was the saddest voice ever.
He's so sick. Well, he had strep throat like last week, and he's been taking his medicine, but for some reason he's not getting better. It just started again like last night. So
Shoot.
um but last year I was, like I said, I started playing baseball. And when baseball ended, from injury and just not being able to go any longer, I, fell into the trap of going to college. And, not that going to college is bad, but going to
Right.
college, corporate life, and all that stuff. And I just found that I didn't have passion for it. And
Mhm.
so I was in this rut for like 10 years where I was just angry all the time, stressed out, tired, burnt out, not excelling at my job. And so it made me, you know, you can't do what? Okay, buddy. Just go lay down, okay? You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Can you come lay down right here? Just lay down. You'll feel better if you lay down, okay? But I need you to be quiet, okay? All right. So sorry, everybody. He's really
No,
sick.
you're good. You're good. We are definitely live because we always get people like, "Are you live? Is this Julie
I know.
happening?" And I'm
I
like,
know.
"We live. It's all good. It's real life." And that's honestly one of the things that you get when you are working for yourself.
Hmm.
You get to be home and handle these moments, quite honestly. So it's all good. It's all good.
Okay. But yeah, so I struggled for 10 years, and then finally I just got to a point where I had enough, and I was like, enough is enough. I'm gonna figure something out. So I started, going through the shiny object syndrome, trying every little thing that I came across. And then at some point I found Legendary Marketer. I got into Legendary Marketer, and I was struggling with it. I was
Mhm.
trying to promote, you know, um, legendary marketing, and it just wasn't working for me at that point. So I was like,
Mhm.
I've got to figure something out. And this was last year, November 2023,
Mhm.
and then I ended up getting laid off from my job. And I was like, I don't want to go back to the corporate life. I'm not making money online. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have to figure something out. And my personal brand isn't doing anything. I maybe had 500 followers.
Mhm.
I tried several different pages, several different niches, and just wasn't working for me. And then I was like, I'm just going to put that on hold. And I kept seeing these faceless channels popping up, and I kept hearing people talking about how much money they were making, with faceless content through TikTok, just getting paid to create content. And
Mhm.
I decided, you know what? I mean, these videos don't look that hard to make. And it looked like they were just using stock video footage or B-roll footage. And I was like, I'm gonna dedicate 30 days or however long it takes to figure this out, and I'm gonna build my own channel. And so I just went down that rabbit hole. I started studying, started learning, started going to the bigger pages and researching what they were doing, and just understand
Mhm.
deconstructing those videos and understanding, what's making them go so viral.
Right.
And I was like, I can do that. So I started playing around with things. I started using AI. Didn't really work as much as I'd hoped it would. And then I just started playing around with some footage, and then I just figured out that I could use sounds that are already viral on TikTok for my faceless
Mhm.
videos. So all I had to really bring to the table was a little bit of editing, and the viral sounds that are already on TikTok. So I mean, there's already proof in these sounds. And so I just started making these videos, and they were so easy to make. I was pumping out four a day typically, and they were getting seemingly good views. And then I started incorporating my own sound, started making my own. And that's when I really saw the growth and grew that faceless channel. After I figured everything out, grew it to 250,000 followers in 30 days. And that was a shocker to me. I made like $4,000 that first month, and I was like, whoa, this is insane. And I was like, I need to show people how they can do this for themselves. And then in January of 2024, I grew my personal brand to 30,000 followers in 30 days. And then from there, it's just been a snowball effect, and everything has just taken off from there. And so it was all just experimentation, kind of being at my last rope, and being on my last rope and not knowing what else to do, and just dedicating my time to learning a skill, and focusing on just that one thing. And now it's grown into a full blown, basically coaching business, and it's and it's been insane. And honestly, I don't even know how I got here. I'm just here.
It just keeps going. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. That's the goal. That's the target, so to speak.
Exactly.
So there's a few things we gotta cover. First and foremost, he had amazing growth in 30 days on 2 different channels. But he had a period beforehand where he didn't have growth. So we want to make that abundantly clear. So there is no guarantee that you will start your channel and in 30 days you will have 250,000 followers.
Yes, that was
30,000 followers. There was a lot of process beforehand. And even, I think, if I remember right, maybe I'm remembering wrong, before you found Legendary, you were making some content, you were playing around with certain things, different. So you didn't come in with zero tech skills. So I want to make that abundantly clear for everyone. But there's something I want everyone really, really to take from this too, is David got to a point where quitting was off the table. That has been our reoccurring theme. It just can't be something you think about every day. It can't be one of the options that you have in front of you. And that's what I hear. And you didn't just go, all right, I'm going to do this. You went, all right, I'm going to learn. I'm going to try something new every day. I'm going to post 4 pieces of content every day. Like, David did not just go, okay, I'm going to post one. I'm going to go all in, and I'm just going to do one. He was like, we going all in. And I'm posting 4. And after 30 days, that's a lot of data to learn from too, and to improve on quickly as well. And it takes time, because one of the beautiful things that's hard for those that are new in this space is the editing piece. And your editing got better and better and better. And editing is huge. It's an important piece to online content.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I talk about inside my online community a lot is just leveling up. Even now, I'm still learning. I'm still leveling up. I'm still trying new things. I'm looking at other pages. I'm still doing research. I mean, even though I've had success, on TikTok and things like that, but there's still so much for me to learn. And there's still a lot of growth for me to have. Like right now, I'm switching focus. I still do TikTok, but I'm also trying to learn Instagram right now. And just in the past few weeks, I've grown that channel. Same Guard Your Mind, but I've grown that channel to almost 1,600 followers in less than 3 weeks. And it's just the same principles, same things. It works wherever you go. And I'm still getting leads to my sales funnel, every day from these platforms, from my faceless channels. And I mentioned earlier that affiliate marketing and all that stuff, I wasn't working for me, but now it does,
Right.
and so it's
Right.
not that I used to think that these things don't work. I used to get
Mhm.
in my head and be like, oh, drop shipping doesn't work. This affiliate marketing, digital marketing doesn't work. Like all that
Mm.
stuff doesn't work, but it does. It's just you have to go through a certain learning period to figure out who you are as a content creator, what your purpose is, and what value you can bring to the marketplace. And once you understand that, then you have a clear goal on, who your target audience is, you know, um, what type of content you should be creating, what do they like, and what do they want to see, and then you just keep recreating that stuff over and over again. And you hear people a lot talking about recreating your success, and that's what that means is just seeing, understanding, like you mentioned earlier, the data. I posted over 100 videos before I really even saw any sort of exponential growth on my faceless channel. A lot
Mhm.
of people, what they do is they they start a faceless channel and then they'll post 4 or 5 videos and they're like, hey, I'm not getting any traction, this doesn't
Mhm.
work. And then they
Mhm.
reach out to me and they're like, I'm at my wits end. I mean, I go to their profile and it's like, you've only posted 4 videos. I mean, if you go to guard your mind and scroll all the way down, you'll see
Mhm.
like the the drastic change after I posted 150 videos, and
Right.
just learning and growing. And it's okay to not be great at first. It's okay. And a lot of the times what we do as humans is we try to rush things, and we try to like, um, we put ourselves in a future tense, and we're just like, I should be here, but I'm not, and I
Right.
did that for the last 4 years when I really started trying to make money online. I was like, I have sales experience, I have this, I have that, why am I not here? And it was really
Mhm.
detrimental to me. And the moment that things changed is when I said, you know, I'm just going to do what I need to do, and whatever happens is going to happen. If God wants it to be, then that's what will happen. Um, and and that's when the real subtle shift happened. Is just leaving it up to the universe, to God, whoever you believe in, and
Right.
allow them to take the reins, doing all you can by learning and growing and experimenting and all that, and then eventually seeing, what happens.
Right. Definitely. It comes it's so hard as a newer person online to hear this, but it comes to not focusing on the money, the
Yeah,
result,
it really does.
but the process and what it takes. And I mean, we get it in Support 101 or Hot Seat. I've posted 6 times in 6 weeks. I haven't seen anything. It's not working.
Hmm.
You're like, okay, we gotta back this up. We need way more content in that period of time. And
Hmm.
it takes time. And Dave's mentioned it. I've talked about it too. There is this kind of like if you make 100 videos, you make 100 pieces of content, you're gonna start learning. You're gonna start seeing some change through
Hmm.
that. But there really is this. I want you to get to 100 pieces of content.
Hmm.
I want you to get through that period.
Right.
If you're doing 4 a day, you're gonna get there a lot quicker.
Right.
You're only doing
Exactly.
1 a day, it's gonna take a lot
It's gonna
longer.
take a
You get to
little.
decide what that is, but I want you to get through 100 pieces of content.
Exactly. And I learned that from Mr. Beast, of all people.
Mhm.
He's one of the greatest content creators of all time. And
Absolutely, yeah.
um he was talking about YouTube, and he was like, you know, post 100 videos and then come talk to me. If you don't have
Mhm.
10,000 followers after 100 videos, then come talk to me. Or if you're not making any sort of, moves in the YouTube space or whatever it might be, then come talk to me. But until you've done that, don't
Right.
reach out to me, because you haven't had enough experience. You haven't learned, you haven't grown, you haven't, and
Mhm.
I, even me, I had been creating content for 4 years on TikTok, and had zero success. And
Mhm.
I still had to post 100 videos. Now it doesn't take me that long. I started another faceless channel, Lion Mindset, and that grew to 10,000 followers in a little less than 2 weeks. And right
Mhm.
now it's sitting over a little over 36,000. But that was mainly just to show that it can be done, and then I grew another
Right.
Facebook channel to right now it's at 17,000 followers. And once you understand how the game works, then you can just recreate that success with no matter what channel you create, even personal brands. I tell everybody that, hey, if you want to learn content creation, the fastest way to do that is creating faceless content, because one, you're
Mhm.
using viral sounds every single day and you're learning from them, you're hearing them, you're understanding what makes them go viral. You're learning how to edit, you're learning how to add captions to your videos, you're learning, how to put background music to your videos, you're learning, what type of
Mhm.
videos to create for specific people, and you're learning hashtags, SEO, and all of that stuff. And these videos only take 5 to 10 minutes to make, and so you can pump out, like we mentioned, 3 4 videos a day, and
Mhm.
that's a lot of data. That's a lot of learning and growing and leveling up daily. And then from there, once you've learned the skill like faceless content, you can take that and implement it into your personal brand, and either one, teach faceless content, or use your knowledge of growing a faceless channel to grow a personal brand.
Right.
And that's
Or go out there and do a whole bunch of different
yeah,
faceless brands in different niches
exactly.
and have a whole variety of things going on. There's the sky's the limit when you learn the skills, guys.
Hmm.
When you learn
It
the
really is.
skills, there's a lot of options. And it never has to be, there's kind of this space where it's like, well, I'm going to do just affiliate marketing, or I'm going to do just drop shipping, or I'm just going to do this. And it's like, no, find a way first, focus on one,
Mhm,
get it rolling, get it going.
mhm.
And then, like you said, you add to it. And now you have these different elements to your business.
Exactly.
And that's where it gets really exciting and fun. But
Mhm.
we got to get through those beginning stages to get to those next levels.
Yeah, I wrote an email to my email list the other day about my son. This one right here. Okay, buddy. Okay. Well, you got to do it yourself. Okay. I'm sorry.
I love it.
Uh,
Oh.
but the other day I was working out in the gym, and he likes to come down and work out with me because he typically just likes to be around me, which
Mhm.
I love. But the other day I was uh, lifting some weights, and he kept chanting this thing, and he was like, I like to learn. I like to learn every day. I like to learn every day. I like to learn every day." And I was like, "What are you saying?" And he's like, and he got kind of shy, and he was like, I was like, "No, say it. I like what you're saying." He's like, "I like to learn every day." And I was like, that is a great mindset to have. And if you take that into, adulthood and everything that you do, you'll go far in life, because
Mhm.
that's really the essence of success, is just love loving to learn, and
Yeah.
loving to gain a knowledge and skills, even if those skills seem small to you, they'll pay off
Mhm.
dividends eventually. it's
Yeah.
it's learning it. Just love to learn new things, love to try new things, love to experiment new things, and just have fun doing it. I know it's most cases we get so hooked on the money. It's like, I'm not making any money, this isn't fun, like, but
Mhm.
just understand that, like, it's all the process, everybody goes through it. But if you can shift your mindset to love what you're doing regardless of the outcome, then you'll have success much faster, because you're actually enjoying what you're doing, and so
Yeah.
that's just
It really comes down to I goes back to giving yourself grace,
Mhm,
that you're worthy to learn, and that it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative. It's not something looking at you as a failure when you're in a learning stage of
mhm,
anything.
right.
It's in fact of switching your mindset to going, "Ah, I get to learn something new today. Awesome. Let's figure it out. Instead of like, oh, I failed. I'm not good at this. It's hard. It's something new. I can't do this, right? It's all about our mindset and how we approach it,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is interesting. So give us some. You are in our 5-day challenge. We have
Mhm.
some clips of you of the faceless part of our 5-day challenge. But for those that aren't in the challenge, just tuning in, want to learn a little bit from you. What's your day one advice to beef up some editing that's easy? Some editing tips, because a lot of times people forget about the editing piece that needs
Mhm.
to happen as you progress your content to level it up a little bit without spending 5 hours feeling like they're on, this clip is never going to be good enough, but some easy editing tips, some that they can go and try today with their
Yeah,
content to level it up a little bit.
absolutely. I mean, the main thing that we really need to focus on is Jet. I'm talking, but I need you to be quiet, okay? Um, is really, I mean, just CapCut is the editing app that I use,
Mhm.
and it's a free service. You can use CapCut for free. They also have a pro version, but um, really the only editing aspects that I do is I take my stock video footage and then I mirror all the footage so that it's different. One of the main
Mhm.
things that we do with faceless content is we're using other people's content, so you have to make it
Right.
different because there's an act out there called the Fair Use Act that allows you to use other people's content, but it has to be in a transformative way. You can't just take somebody's piece of content and just post it and think it's going to be okay. And that's
Right.
why a lot of people end up getting unoriginal content from TikTok,
Mhm.
is because they don't do enough edits. And so mirroring the footage, cropping the footage in, that's when you just kind of grab and drag the photo in so that it's focused on a different piece of the video.
Mhm.
Um, so that's one of the things that I would do is mirroring the footage. If it's something that just, if there's words on the screen or something like that, you don't want to mirror the footage. Obviously, you could reverse it or you
Right.
could do something different. So that's one piece of advice that I would focus on. And then the next thing that I do is just add a filter, either black and white. Black and white always works really well.
Mhm.
And then you just play around with it, figure out what you like, and kind of go from there. The biggest thing about building a faceless channel is you're building a brand. So you
Right.
want to make sure every single video looks and feels the same. I mean, at the beginning, you don't really know what you like yet because you're just testing things out. And that's okay. So don't get hung
Mhm.
up on that. But once you figure out a style that you like, then you just stick with that style. And so that's why making as many videos as possible in the next 30 days is so important, because you're building brand awareness in the viewer's eyes, but you're also you're learning what your style is going to be like. And then once you
Right.
figure that out, then you can just replicate that every video. And so you don't really even have to think about your editing. It's just you have your presets
These are the
basically.
steps I'm doing every day on each
Yeah,
video and just
yeah,
roll it out,
that's
right?
literally it. But
Mhm.
adding a filter, don't do any like crazy lightning edits or like butterflies like flying on the screen or sparkles. You can add like
Right.
subtle snow, and I do that, but I turn it like down so it's not like blizzard on the screen. But and then just transitions in between video clips. So
Mhm.
for a 30-second video, I'd probably use anywhere from 5 to 8 different pieces of footage. You don't want to use one piece of stock
Right.
video footage. You want to split it up into multiple pieces of footage. That's it's almost called there's something called attention hacking, where we're basically hacking the viewer's attention by switching the video every 3 to 5 seconds. So in their subconscious mind, they're thinking, okay, they're watching the very first video, the hook has already hooked them in, and then the video changes to a different video, and then they're going to start to anticipate another change, and so their mind is kind of, hooked on watching that video. So we want to switch every 3 to 5 seconds. And so that's another piece. And then, like I mentioned, transitions. A transition is just in between each clip. In CapCut, there's a little like square that goes in between each clip. You just click on that, and then you go through the transitions. And the one that I use is Mix. And mixes the two clips together, so it kind of blends it very nicely. And then at the end, beginning and end, you can use fade in, fade out, and it'll make it look really, really well done. So, I mean, that's basically, if I was a beginner, I would just start by getting some clips from either Canva, Pexels, or Pixabay, and trying to find video footage that's not too stock footagey, if that makes sense. So
right.
Yeah,
That's something that you're like, okay, I've actually already seen this 4 times.
right,
And it feels corporate-y, fake. I don't know.
right,
Just
right. It's like, what is this, an HR video? Like, what?
right.
So that's why a lot of people opt to do like beautiful scenery, like the woods or the ocean, is because those don't look, so fake. And people are just generally drawn to beautiful scenes, and like a good inspiring message. So I find some stock video footage, go on TikTok, do some research, find a video that you like, that you want to replicate, learn what they're doing, and then, check out their sounds. If they are making the sounds, their profile picture should match the sound in the bottom right hand corner. That means that you can use that sound. So you just click on that, and then you hit use sound. You can upload your footage to that, or you can use Snaptic to download the video and extract the audio. And that, now I'm getting too into the weeds, but
now we're leveling up even more. But what David literally just gave everyone a checklist of what you're going to do with your videos. I'm going to even say for the next 100 videos.
Yeah. I mean, you can literally,
let's do that. Who's up for the challenge? I want you to start today, like even make some checks. Let's check off each day and how many videos you post each day. That's what it's going to take, guys. And now you have and even more to your toolbox of what you can do with your editing to make some adjustments. Anthony says he's in. All right, Anthony, I want updates. Ken, I'm taking that thumbs up as an in. Mitra, same. I want updates in the comments on Wake Up Legendary. Seriously, I'm not joking. I'm going to hold you all accountable. I'm going to be hosting 50 days from now and see Ken in here. I'm like, Ken, how's that video? Where are you at?
Faceless channel.
Yep. How's it going? I want to see it. That was, I mean, it sometimes it's a reminder that it can be that simple with just some small adjustments.
Right. And I think a lot of people I talked about this earlier, but a lot of people want to be at a certain spot. They see a video on TikTok and they're like, man, I can create that. And I was at that point too. I'm like, I can create those videos. That'd be easy. And then I started creating them. I'm like, okay, it's not as easy as I thought, but I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to learn and grow. And that's, most people, what they do is they just give up after the first, 4 or 5 videos, because it's harder than they expect. And it's not hard in the sense that the steps are hard. It's hard in the sense that it's like, how do I get my videos to look like that? And my videos didn't look like they do now. But I've been doing this for a year, and really the best thing to do is just to get started creating, and they don't have to look fantastic. My wife, she has her own faceless channels. Her faceless Instagram has over 80,000 followers, and her faceless TikTok has over 50,000 followers. And she just started out of the blue. She, I showed her exactly what I do, but she just took the reins and just started using her
Get her
creative
own.
mind and started,
Yeah.
but she does have a background in photography, so she knows what looks good and how to edit and
Mhm.
things like that. But she had no experience in content creation, zero,
Mhm.
none. Um, and she just picked it up, and then I think in 30 days or a little more than 30 days, she had 10,000 followers on her TikTok. And then her Instagram grew more than her TikTok did. And she was just posting every video she posts on TikTok to Instagram. That was it. Um, and so these steps work regardless of the platform that you're on, because everybody needs a good message. And a lot of people are like, oh, motivation is too saturated, or this niche is too saturated. But I mean,
Right.
if you think about it, there's billions of people online every single day. Um,
Mhm.
and the odds of somebody seeing that message before is just slim to none. You're gonna reach new audiences, and it's you're gonna be able to grow a following. And that's one thing that I struggled with too, is like, oh, well, there's all these channels. Like, who's going to follow my channel when there's all these
Yeah.
channels?
Such a
There are,
limiting belief. You can't
right.
tell yourself that, guys. You got your
Exactly.
people.
Exactly. Like, I mean, for me, I mean, even with my personal brand, it's like, okay, well, there were other people teaching faceless content um, at the time too. And why would somebody follow me? But they did. But
Mhm.
the main point was just providing value. And that's what I take into every channel that I create, faceless, non-faceless. Is like, how can I create value in this video? Can somebody learn something from this
Right.
video today and implement
Right.
it into their life? And if they can, then that's a good video. And typically those ones do really well. If they can take the knowledge that you just spit out on this video and implement it in their life and have success, or have a better day, or have a smile on their face, or feel connected to you as a person, or as a faceless account, then they're going to take action, and they're going to follow you. And that's the main thing that you need to focus on when creating your content, or looking for sounds to use, or creating your own sounds with 11 Labs, is just
Mhm.
being human, and then also just providing as much value as you possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love it. And Anthony, you can have multiple channels right on your phone, and you can switch right inside the app of both
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok. You just have a different email when you sign up for them. And then
Yeah.
you can switch right through them. You can have them all lined up at the top. You'll have a little arrow, and you can just click right through
Nice.
all of your profiles.
Those are all I've got 3 faces channels right there. Those are all my channels on my TikTok.
Yep.
So, and I actively run all of those. So you can
Yeah. And
have,
you just
I think you can
move
have,
through them.
you can have up to 8 faceless channels, or you can have up to 8 channels on your one
Mhm.
device on your TikTok. And a lot of people think that it messes with the views and the algorithm, and TikTok's like
Yeah.
out to get you. But in reality, that's not the case. At least I haven't seen that.
Mhm.
And even on Instagram, you can have multiple channels, multiple accounts, and YouTube, you can have multiple accounts, and so
Mhm.
there's really no limit. And if you wanted, you could get another phone and have multiple accounts on there, or create some.
Only time when I've asked a couple people, so it's not a lot. So we're gonna say 3 people that said, "Oh, you can't have them on your phone. I got shut down." Further investigation, they were posting the same content on all of their channels at the same time on the same day. Like
Yeah, yeah. Don't do
that was
that.
probably more of the issue, not actually having them on your phone, is that you were
Yeah,
making one piece of content and just spamming it across 5 channels on the same day at the same time.
yeah,
And that it does like that's not unique content. You need to have each channel have their own feel, branding, everything. And it
exactly.
can't all be the same on the same across 5 channels on TikTok. You can't blast out the same video. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do
Okay,
that.
guys. Yeah. That's what will get you into
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if one video gets banned, then it's more likely than the other one's going to get banned if you're posting the same content. So they
Right,
have
exactly.
algorithms and things like that that pick it up, and yeah. So I mean, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, definitely. So, how do you feel like just I mean, your wife's in all of this now. How do you feel like your confidence has grown from that stage of, I don't know if this is going to work? Like, because you shared you were in that stage at one point to where you are now. What have you learned most about yourself through this process?
Oh, so much. The biggest thing that I've learned is that to always just keep learning. Um,
Mhm.
because the biggest reason why we get stuck or why we're not where we want to be is because um, it's just a lack of knowledge. We want
Right.
to get to a certain spot. Like I have goals and aspirations now that I've done what I achieved. You know, I told myself last year that I was going to have 1 million followers. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but now between all of my accounts, I have over 1 million followers, and
Mm.
I'm like, okay, well, that was my big audacious goal.
Now
Um,
what?
now what? You know,
Yeah.
now,
Mhm.
so it's always just leveling up and stretching yourself and not being afraid to set big goals and have big dreams and big aspirations. It's okay. You know, I used to think that like, oh, I've got to set these little goals. Little goals are good, but like for the most part, it's the big goals that are going to make you stretch and do what you need to do to get what you need to get done to get to that spot.
Mhm.
And so if you don't have those big goals or those big dreams, then you're just shooting in the dark. So really
Right.
taking the time to figure out what you want out of all of this, writing it down and not being shy about it. Obviously you want to keep it to yourself, but like write everything down that you want to accomplish. Like how much money you
Mhm.
want to make, how many followers you want to gain, you know, how many people in your email subscribers, all that stuff, and just really understanding that and setting big goals is one of the things that I've learned, and then also just getting out of my own way. You know, I'm a
Right.
human being. You know, you might see me
Mhm.
on social media. Having it all figured out, but in reality I'm still learning. I don't have it all figured out, honestly,
Mhm.
and it that some days it's a struggle. It's like, what do I do next? How do I
Right.
get to the next level? And a lot of when I was just getting started in this space, I thought that like if I had a certain amount of accolades, then I would be everything would be set. It'd be
Mhm.
made, but in
Mhm.
reality, that's not the case. You have the same feelings. You have the same imposter syndrome, if you want to go there. Um, you have all the same doubts. They're
Mhm.
just different problems. Same problems, just bigger sometimes.
Yeah, they're
Um,
just different.
they're
They're
just
all
different,
good. I mean, I have imposter syndrome. Dave at times has there. It always comes back, it just in a different way, at a
right?
different level.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we need to understand is that it doesn't go away, and if you hit a certain thing,
Mhm.
it doesn't go away. You feel good in the moment,
Mhm.
but then at the same time, you get to a spot where you're like, okay, I achieved that. I can't just lay down and be complacent with everything. Yes. Okay, buddy. I can't be complacent. Okay, buddy. I'll fix it later. Okay. There's too much stuff in here, so I can't open it. Okay, I'll fix it later. Thank you. You can't just lay down and be like get complacent. You have to continue to
Right.
keep moving and keep progressing forward.
Yeah,
Okay, buddy.
definitely. Well, this already you dropped so much gold. I'm gonna you I mean, everyone, I hope you all took notes. And if you didn't, go back and rewatch this. We are going to let David go so he can go take care of his little one, who has been
Thank you.
quite patient with
Thank you.
all of us and sharing his dad with us as he dropped tons of gold for us. I have his TikTok up on the screen. I shared his Instagram earlier, but I am going to let him go and then I'll pop him back up. Okay. But David, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. And of course, we can't wait to have you back on again in the future, and go take care of your little one.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for understanding. I'm sorry he's popping up
Oh
on the
no, he was
on
great. It was
the
great. You were
yeah.
great. It's real life, and that's what's beautiful about it. So thank you for coming on today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
All right, take care. All right, everyone, please go follow David on TikTok at Dave_preneur. That is his channel where you can see his face, and he's doing a lot of teaching, adding a ton of value. Then you can go follow him on Guardian_of_minds, and that's also on TikTok. That is a faceless channel of his. And then we also have David on Instagram at guard.your.mind. Go check him out on all of those channels. Give him a follow. Pop in the comments, let him know you saw him on Wake Up Legendary. Save this video. Go when it's uploaded on Spotify later, when it's on the YouTube channel later, go save it wherever you listen, wherever you rewatch, and grab these tips, write them down, and put them into action. And I'm serious, guys. I want to see every one of you go after 100 videos. I want you to go after posting 100 pieces of content. I don't care if it takes 100 days, if it takes 75 days, if it takes 50 days. I want 100 pieces of content. Start applying some of these tips that you were given today, that we have in the challenge, that we have in the blueprints, and get into a headspace where I'm learning and it's good, instead of like, oh, I suck at this. I don't want you to be your biggest bully. I want you to be your biggest cheerleader. Work on that mindset and keep going every single day for me. Okay. Have a great one. We'll be back tomorrow. And as always, stay legendary. Peace.